rebuild or the favorites. We here for the latest. South side or the north side, not tuned to the greatest. Home team for the home teams. Both sides got our own rings. On the mound or the long ball, but we don't pull the wrong strings. Yeah. It's that time of the year now. Wrigley or guarantee, so the whole league that we here now. New show with a new mood. Discussions and interviews. Trade rumors that might be. This is Pinwheels and Knife.
What's going on, everybody? We just got to wait.
All right, all good.
This show is always late, White Sox.com. So I guess we're.
How we build a buzz. What concert, great artist do you know that shows up on time? When
So, we'll cancel on everyone, just like Morgan Wallen.
Yeah. T-Pain, when he came to Bradley, showed up 3 hours late.
I can get fall down drunk and cancel the show. That's not new.
We'll say we lost her voice as we're getting hot or taken to the hospital.
was not able to be here, so therefore we are canceling the show. No money refunded.
That'd be hilarious if we just start the show and we're like, all right, White Sox talk, and that's the show.
And that's we just the show. All right. You guys ready?
Yep.
I suppose.
3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday, April 27th, and you have found the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. I am your host, Matt Zwoski, a.k.a. Southside Zoe, a.k.a. Father Zoe. And with me, as always, Mr. Aldo Soto.
Mitch, Zoe, every White Sox fan watching, listening, I want to tell all you guys, it's not your fault.
Thanks,
it's not
Dad.
Your fault.
Thanks, Dad.
It's not your fault.
And that's NASCAR Mitch.
What's up? I mean, there's not much to say. I'll tell you what. I was telling Aldo before the break, it's nice because I've been so busy at work. I haven't been able to watch the shit show that is the White Sox. And I thought things were turning around because today was like the first time in 6 days they didn't assign me a story about weed. It was a bomb threat instead, so a much more cheery subject. But I was like, okay, new topic. White Sox are going to turn it around today. Like I thought all the stars were aligning. And then I checked the score and they got their ass kicked again. So what are you going to do?
I was actually going to bet the Sox today because I was like, this is totally going to be a White Sox win, a no-point game 3 of the series win. And then I just stopped and was like, they fucking suck, dude. They are a very unserious team. I'm embarrassed to be a fan of this organization right now. Hence the paper bag because it's bad, man. It's really bad. Every flaw, every rant anyone's ever been on about this team in the front office, it's all coming to fruition. And I'll tell you what the absolute worst part of all of this is all the I told you so people on Twitter and sports radio and all that stuff. I told you they were going to suck. Way to go out on a limb, dude. Like that was super fiery take, man. But yeah, I mean, you can take me off full screen anytime, although this is kind of creeping me out. I can do it myself, but
I had to tweet out the screenshot. My bad.
Yeah. I mean,
go Sox. Cubs are good, though. Cubs are good.
The Cubs are good. The Cubs are actually playing really good baseball.
I mean, like, look, there's nothing we're going to say about the Sox that haven't already been said. Like, you hit it in the head, they suck. I would like to, I don't know what, like, the list of topics was before the show. Sorry, I didn't do much prep this week. There is one thing I do want to discuss. We touched on a little bit last week before we talked mostly Cubs, because that's the only team worth talking about here. But Lance Lynn was the topic of discussion last week. It came up again this week because Steve Stone essentially called him fat on the air, saying that because he's out of shape, pitch clock's affecting him, whatever. And then there's a lot of Lance Lynn is wash talk. You know, I mean, you have to take most of what this organization says with a grain of salt because they don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. But I will say with Lance Lynn in particular, because of how he looked at the end of last year and even how he looked in the World Baseball Classic, Pedro Grifol said it's a mechanical thing. Lance Lynn said the same thing. A lot of his issues, if you look, because his velocity is around the same as what it was last year, it's because of a lack of command. So I don't think he's necessarily washed. I think he's just not locating pitches at this point. And when he's behind the count, he gets lit up. So I am not going to say Lance Lynn is washed quite yet. I think that's a little ridiculous. And if you look, too, as far as the fatness goes, I mean, he is fat, but like it has nothing to do with the cardiovascular thing, struggling with the pitch clock, because he said it on AJ Brzezinski's podcast too, but he works fast to begin with. So it's not a fact. That didn't affect him. I think that's another. Yeah.
So I guess staying there because that was a big topic. AJ Brzezinski's show is actually pretty good.
Very good.
And I love what AJ's doing on Twitter because he basically does what we do, but he's been there and like knows all these people. So he's like, but I mean, he straight up asked it, Lance Lynn, what the fuck is going on with the White Sox? Like, I'm not paraphrasing. That's literally how we position that question. And I love Lance Lynn. I think Lance Lynn is a very straight shooter, but I feel like at that moment,
Holy shit.
he kind of went the corporate route a little bit because he was just like, you know, we got new coaches, new batting coaches, new this, new that, and guys are really trying new things. And, you know, it's taken us a little bit longer than we thought to adapt to these new things. It's still baseball.
He's not an idiot, though. Like, what's he going to say? Throw all of his teammates under the bus?
Right. No, I know, but it's just.
Yeah, in that respect, he's not Dallas Keuchel.
No, in that
exactly. Yep.
And it was very funny when he was just like, they were talking about his sweeper, and he's like, yeah, I lost sleep because of that fucking pitch. That pitch sucked. Yeah. I'm not throwing that shit anymore.
Well,
like,
speaking of Dallas, he was actually like funny because I wrote an article kind of detailing the thing. Like I was talking about, like he's not like Wash, like he's just not no command, whatever. And then all the right after had a very good article comparing him to Dallas Keuchel. But I was like, God damn it! Now we got 2 posts like contradicting each other, making me look like an idiot for defending him because you look at the numbers and it's like, oh shit, this is very Dallas Keuchel-like. But definitely check that out because when you go through, it's like, oh wow.
Yes, they're only 5 starts, but yeah, I was looking at it because I looked at his ERA. I'm like, his ERA went down. He gave up 4 runs. It went down like 0.07. But I was like, I mean, I know the walks are up. Obviously, that's a big problem. He's not locating his pitches. He's falling behind. We talked about it last week with Peter. And when he falls behind, he has to go in down the zone, and guys are going to square up that fastball or in that cutter. And I was like, well, I mean, Dallas Keuchel was like terrible at the start of last year too. Like, how do they compare? And I was like, oh my God. Obviously, like you said, it's different because even Keuchel, it was going back to 2021 when he was awful. At least Lance Lynn, his last 12 starts of 2022, he was great. Like what was it, like a sub-3 ERA? He's still striking out like 25% of the guys. So like he gets into trouble, but he can at least limit it and like get out of jams because he does have that strikeout ability. But like yeah, it's just tough for him and basically every single White Sox starting pitcher right now.
Yep, the velo is still there. The velo hasn't dropped. Yeah, like even a full mile per hour. It's just. It's location and movement, and I agree with Wayne in the comments. The team is broken from the top down. I mean, shit trickles downhill, and it's very evident in this team. Which one was Han bragging about in spring training? Saying
Romy Gonzalez.
Romy. Yeah, Romy Gonzalez is a negative 0.5 WAR right now.
Like everyone knew it was going to be bad. I can't tell you in like off-season podcast or just like during the off-season, having to write so many articles about the second base conversation like this, like these two, Sosa and Gonzalez, like are not good options. Like I don't care if he's hurt or he was hurt in the minor leagues or whatever. He's not good in the major league.
Sosa and his negative 0.4 WAR isn't doing it for you either.
What's Elvis at? Because that was the big free agent edition in February.
Jesus Christ. Elvis is he's a negative 0.4.
I will say this in positive news, though. If you listen to the show last week, we were talking about the witch that cursed Mike Clevenger, and he pitched bad again. So I think the curse is actually like
that curse is very legit.
So the witch seems to be pretty friendly. We wrote about on Sports Mockery about the witch cursing, and she commented, "It's like, yeah, that was me. Hi, I'm from Chicago, apparently." And now she's a Reds fan. So friendly witch that cursed Mike Clevenger.
We might need to get her on the show to like beg her to like take it away, or do like a reverse curse for the rest of the team.
Yeah. Curse Rick Hahn. Maybe he'll sign a decent free agent.
Let's talk some positives here.
Let's do it.
Let's not be all negative. I have been one of the biggest components of Jake Burger's cheeks on defense. I'm not going to say he's good, but he's been making some plays. I saw some dude, I don't know who the fuck this kid is, but it got retweeted in my timeline. He did that thing where you capitalize every other letter to like make it sound like you're being sarcastic.
Yeah, the SpongeBob meme.
It was after Burger like charged Chopper and threw the guy out at first. Like he's like, I thought Jake couldn't play defense. Like I felt like attacked by this tweet. I thought it was directly subtweeting me, and I typed up this huge reply, like 2-3 tweets long, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that tonight. We're not going to talk about his negative OAA last season or any of that good stuff, but
so he's a defensive wizard now because he's hitting 213 now.
Yeah, so He still leads the team in home runs. We're tied for the lead.
Speaking of his bad defense in the front office, this is a scary thought too, because as bad as Romy and Lenine are, at least their natural second baseman, there was rumors they told Berger in the offseason, hey, like, get some work at second base just in case. So that man could have been a second base.
At this point, try it. I don't give a shit.
I'm not even because they didn't do anything in the offseason.
Yeah, they said Elvis fucking Andrews.
But that tells you they knew. They're like, yeah, we're really not going to address this. We're going internally. Jake, get some reps over there.
And I don't know, Mitch, if you listened to that rant I put in the chat.
Yes, I did.
That guy, that was fucking beautiful.
On the head.
Nailed it.
That guy, I kind of want to play it on the show, but it's 6 minutes long, so that's kind of a long ass rant. But
better than anything we have to say. No, just check.
No, Mitch, I swear to God, I literally thought like maybe we should open the show, talk for a minute. I'll play this guy's rant, and then we'll just move on to the Cubs because the guy hits it. He
nails it point for
10 out of 10. Fucking.
I mean, that's fine with me. Like after the Witch and Lance Lynn, I got nothing about the White Sox I want to talk about.
But the biggest thing is, and he says it too. Like I'm not even mad. I'm just let down. You know what I mean? Like
I feel
as he mentioned in his rant, like I've stood up for like most of the moves in this rebuild. I've tried to find the fucking, the rainbow at the end of the road here, just trying to like be positive and all this stuff and everything we do here. And yeah, I've had some rants when they miss, like when they missed on Harper and Machado in free agency, like that really pissed me off. I still think that's like one of our most top watched episodes. So apparently people like that, but it's just, I just feel like almost stupid for doing that, and it's just, and then he goes on in the rant to say, and it's a very harsh reality for us White Sox fans, watch this team run off 15 in a row and moonwalk into a wild card spot just to get fucking smoked in the first round and then be like, see, we made the playoffs.
This is another thing too. Like when you watch them, that's very frustrating. And, Jordan brought it up like about how like the first series, how like Luis Robert, for example, like his approach, not very good. Like he can figure it out. Well, like you see him and all these guys in the dugout after getting their ass kicked, like putting on the sad face for the camera, like how they're all affected. But yet you see Robert go up there and swing at 3 pitches way out of the zone and look like he doesn't give a shit on the field. So like, which one is it? At some point you got to pick a lane. It doesn't look like they give a shit on the field because like his approach has been terrible. Yeah, he's swinging at everything, and then the dugout they're always like, "Oh, woe is us."
Well, and then you get that shit too with him and Eloy on the game on Tuesday, where he's going over there and he's stealing Eloy's fly balls, and like at first you're like, "Oh, they're back at it again, those crazy kids," but then like Eloy was visibly like upset.
Oh, he was pissed.
He was like upset.
He was like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Yeah, like back the fuck up, dude. Like, let me catch the fuck. I kind of feel like Pedro told him to go all Kelly Leak, like all Bad News Bears, and just try to catch every ball he possibly can in the outfield. But I mean, you saw Eloy like pointing to his ear, like, you need to fucking listen to me, dude. Like, listen, I'm calling that shit. Hear me. Or he's either saying that or he's saying, I didn't hear you call it.
Right. Yeah.
Something.
And the fact that I love that after the second time they showed, I think it was in the Blue Jays broadcast, in the dugout, Eloy pulled out the tablet, pulled up the play, and he's like, you see this, Luis? Yeah. I am the right fielder. This ball is in straight away right field. Mm-hmm. I am a major leaguer. I can catch the ball, dude. Get off my fucking sack. Yeah. Like, and I remember looking at that play, and I get it. Like the track record, and that's the thing. You said that you mentioned how like Grifol is probably like, yeah, dude, Luis, just get everything you can because we can't trust Eloy. Fair, because Eloy hasn't earned the trust.
Oh, absolutely.
Getting injured. However, after the first time, like the first one was like, all right, it was in the gap. Robert was like in the full gallop. Fine, glides over, makes the catch. The second one though, no excuse. That's the one where like you get it, like it can't be Eloy. It has to be whoever works with the outfield defense. I don't know who that is for the White Sox. Is it Daryl Boston? Or what's his name? Boston? Yes. Whoever it is who works with the outfilders.
Debo did it last year. They took it away from him. I don't know who does it this year.
It's like, yo, Luis, we get it. We told you, you can get everything. But on these plays, like when the ball is hit right at the right fielder, it's fine to let him have it. Like, because imagine if they do run into each other, Eloy is going to get the blame. Those weren't his fault.
No,
those were not his fault at all.
The first one, I mean, you're right. No, absolutely. The first one is like rewatching it now, like is kind. It's like, all right, like I can see it. I mean, you overstep your bounds, but like it's fair. Gee, you're right. That's like
was just
there's no excuse you can make for him.
Oh, that's pretty dope. That dude that was in the minors for 13 years and that got called up by the Pirates.
okay.
He just had his first major league at bat in the bottom of the 8th when they're winning 8-1 over the Dodgers, and the whole stadium is on their feet clapping for the guy. This is a fucking Disney movie, man. This is a straight out of a Disney movie. That's a really cool story. 13 years in the minors, though.
That's
Do you
crazy,
imagine
huh?
that? 13 fucking years.
Pirates, right?
Yeah.
They're a feel good story, man. We were all trashing him for their Vinny Velo hype videos. Like, look
Vinny
at him.
Velo going 7 deep, K and 10.
That just goes to like you left. I mean, he wasn't good before he got here, so I guess that doesn't support the theory. But like, look, new pitching coach all of a sudden.
Ian, I'm
I did.
almost positive they took that away from Daryl Boston this season. I'd have to look it up, but
Tosar, Mike, he is the field coordinator.
But yeah, so, I mean, the Sox, they're 7-18, 7 in a row they've lost. They haven't won a series. They haven't won
No.
back-to-back games.
but see that here's the thing too. They didn't just like lose,
Ass kicked.
like
Ass
beat
whip.
down. Like they against the Blue Jays, they lost 5-2, 7-0, 8-0. Like someone said it. I think it was that same rant. That rant like hit me hard because
That Wednesday game, the series finale, they get swept. I mean, I was like barely paying attention to it after I saw it was like 4-0. They ended the game striking out, what was it, like 11 out of the last 12 batters?
yes,
Like Elvis Andrews grounded out. That was the only ball in
Yep.
play in the last 4 innings.
the last yeah.
Like,
and then 11
that's just a
strikeouts.
team that just does like, oh yeah, okay, whatever, just going through it right now. Let's get the hell out of here. I want to go back to Chicago.
We
At
gotta
least
fight
in
the
some
Cubs.
of the losses, like you could tell there was some effort and they were fighting. Like these games, they look like they're male. It looks like
the Tampa series. The
The
Tampa
Rays series.
even though they got swept,
it's like they got
walked
walked
twice.
off, and they're like, "Well, fuck, okay, who cares?" Because they have the ninth inning blown save by Raylo, and then the next day he comes back. He looks great in the ninth. They still lose in the 10th, and they're like, "All right, well," and then they scored 1 run on Sunday.
but at least that one they kind of battled too a little bit. Like they were hanging around, they just couldn't.
The Rays series was the first time I questioned Pedro.
What do you got? What's because I think we've been all kind of been on the same level, at least on this show,
Yeah.
where we're like,
Okay? I am curious to hear your thoughts. Don't you say where you questioned him there too? Because there's a lot of people that didn't like his moves in that second
When he
the
walked
extra inning game.
homeboy to get to Randy Rosarina.
Okay, so like that's where I would push back a little bit. You're gonna have to face a Rosarena either way, and the guy ahead of him and Diaz, like because the guy ahead of him still a very capable hitter, the shortstop,
Wander Franco.
Franco. Yeah, it's not like he's an easy out either. So you're either facing him or Rosarena with 2 outs, like fine, but like you're still risking because all they need is a base hit to win it. At least with walking him, and I'm not saying I agree with it, but like at least with walking him, you're setting up the chance for the double play because you're gonna have to face a Rosarena at that inning no matter what.
Yeah, I just walking a guy to get to a guy who's literally brand is built on how clutch he is. It just, I get what you're saying, Mitch. And like, if you take a step back and baseball wise, it makes sense. But meatball fan wise, you're like, literally, that's what this guy is known for, is clutch hitting.
Right.
Like, that's his whole deal. And you're walking a guy to get to him. I mean, I wish I could have bet in time to be like, he's going to walk this off because we all knew it was coming, like, without a doubt.
No, and that is a fair criticism. Like the people upset that they didn't bunt to move the guy to third. It's like you're the road team. Like you got to play for 2 runs. Like in extra innings, you always have to play for 2 runs when you're the road team. Like you're not bunting, wasting an out with a team that already can't hit. Like, yeah, let's just throw away one of our outs. Like that was stupid. So,
but I will say after what was it? Was this today or Wednesday? Was that 8-0? Yeah, 8-0 shellacking the White Sox get to close the series out of nowhere. This guy, for no reason, should be the leader in this clubhouse. But besides Lance Lynn, he has had the 2 most respectable quotes I've heard from this team all damn year. And that is the backup catcher, Mitch's guy, Sebi Zavala. Now, I'll tell you one thing. Sebi Zavala is a fucking ball player. He goes out there and you could tell he's busting ass. He's talking shit to people. He's getting ran over and fucking getting in guys' ears. He doesn't give a shit. He's a fucking ball player. And here's what he had to say after the 8-0 games. James Fegan tweeted it out. Those fuckers, they just fouled off a lot of shit, Sebi Zavala said. It puts us in a hole and maybe makes us feel like we don't know how to come out or something. I don't know. They beat us. We're in a funk. We've got to come together as a team and figure out how to get out of it. And then he goes on to say, we have to find a way to start winning, and we can't curl up in a ball. If you curl up in a ball, then you need to leave our locker room. I don't think we have any of those guys, but if anybody does feel that way, it's definitely going to bring us down. Why? Why is the backup catcher the first one to talk about this shit like this?
Because the starting catcher's usually hurt.
That's true. But
He's hurt right now.
Granted, we did hear Lance Lynn say some of this shit on the AJ show. You know, talking about we're playing bad ball. We know we're a better team. It's taking a while to adapt, yada, yada, yada. But this is like the first like real quote I've heard from this team in this horrid beginning of the season. And it's just, to me, it's a little concerning that it was the backup catcher, the one doing that.
Absolutely.
You know, not TA, not Yasmani, not, you know, Moncada or Eloy or any of these guys who are like your studs, Lucas Giolito, any of these guys. But
has Benintendi said anything?
I don't even know.
He's
if
like the
talk.
big
I don't know what his
free
voice
agent
sounds like. If
I
I'm being
don't. I do
completely
not
honest
know what
with you.
Andrew Benintendi sounds like. I have no idea what that guy. He can have
He
like
can
a
sound like
super high.
Gilbert Godfrey.
He
For
can
all I know.
be like this. I have no idea. I have no idea what he talks, what he sounds like. But you know what? I know what he does. Not hit.
Hey, he's hitting like 290, man. Respect Benny Singles.
He is exactly what it was advertised,
Oh, no,
minus
he's
a
definitely
little
was.
worse defense than what we thought because he was a Gold Glover. But like,
yeah, he's hitting
no power,
295.
hits a lot of singles.
He's leading the team right now with a 295 batting average.
You guys signed Nick Madrigal.
That's what the biggest contract in team history is getting you.
I'm glad you said that because, like, the Pirates, going back to them, the Pirates beat us to $100 million, which is actually, if you look at it, a very good deal. Like, just because you spend $100 million doesn't mean you're spending a lot for a player like Reynolds. What was it, like $16 million a year? Not egregious.
Last time I think it's like 13. I think it's 13.
And he has
like
no
8.
opt out, and he can't opt out.
Like, that's a good sign. You tell me we couldn't do that?
And he can't opt out. It's a beautiful contract for Pittsburgh.
Great contract, and that's a guy that wanted to be traded.
And that it's so funny how winning, and how many times have we said this on the show? Winning fixes everything. That man went from get me the fuck out of here to where do I sign in like a month span, because the Pirates, like you mentioned, are the feel good story of baseball right now. It's kind of the old, if you hear any noise, it's me and the boys bopping Pirates. These guys are fun.
Right. And Pittsburgh's got a great fan base down there, but like if the team sucks, like they're not going to show. But all of a sudden you give them a good ball club. That ballpark's
are you saying if you put a quality product on the field, people come to watch it?
I know it's a novel concept, but
it's absolutely insane. And I mean, I know a lot of us on White Sox Twitter and White Sox fans in general are joking around like, oh, I'm going to be a fan of this team. But I mean, I threw out there like, what's up, D-Ray? What's up, D-Backs Twitter? What's your podcast scene look like? And yes, I do have the head on right now, but they're a super fun team too to watch. Now that's just a young team whose front office seemed to nail all their picks because all these guys are coming up through their system. Corbin Carroll's right now the front runner for NL Rookie of the Year. You got Alec Thomas. You got all these guys, young guys, fun guy. And it's wild. Yeah, they're in first place.
And it goes to back to the front office too. Starts up top, obviously, always trickles down. Like the White Sox, you look at all these other teams. Like the Rays series really stands out. Like all these guys that like leave the Rays organization always get like work, like Blake Snell or whatever. And there's always the thing like don't trade with the Rays because they know how to develop guys. And whenever they're in their system, they do a good job of like getting the most out of those players. The White Sox, like they don't seem to be able to draft any good talent. They don't seem to be able to develop any pitching or any talent. Like you could count on one hand, like the number of impactful major league players that they've drafted that are like contributing to the roster right now. Like I TA off the top of my head.
That's it.
Burger, maybe. Like,
Burger.
you know, you can make it. But like other than that, like
that's it.
They don't know how to draft. Like they're terrible at evaluating and develop talent.
Yeah, Zach Gallen, Cy Young contender. He's doing it again where he's got like 27 in a row. Like Corbin Carroll is a rookie in this league. He would be by far the best player on the White Sox roster right now.
Yeah.
He has 4 home runs, a triple. He's batting .311 with 10 stolen bases. His OBP's .374. He's slugging .556. His OPS is .929. A rookie on the Arizona Diamondbacks, head and shoulders above anyone on the White Sox roster.
And the other thing about the White Sox and, the draft picks not working out and like the international free agent signings and the development is they're like, they were good. It looked like they were developing, and then they kind of just peaked after like 2 years, and then they just all gotten worse. Like, except for like Dylan Cease and Tim Anderson. Like, I mean, Cease was in that trade.
They're the exceptions to the mean.
Those are the only exceptions. Like everybody else.
And not every prospect's going to work out.
No.
But you get that many top 100 prospects, and you're telling me, like, they're all bust? Come on.
Like Michael Club came up. He was like, all right. It was like legit. He's going to be a top of the rotation arm. And yeah, he had like Tommy John and had other injuries, missed all of 2020. But even when he came back, it's like, all right, no, he's healthy. He's good to go now. Like, he's going to be a horse in our rotation. He's gotten worse. Lucas Giolito had those like 3 consecutive good years. He's been like at this year when he's been good.
He's
been
coming
like,
back
twice?
a little bit. Yeah. He's coming back a little bit, but I get what you're saying. He's going to miss his next start because, rest in peace, his grandmother. Yeah. But
and then other guys, Andrew Vaughn. I know, we're Andrew Vaughn guys. I picked him to have a better season than Abreu, which I mean he is so far. But it's April.
I was going to say I think you're still winning that deal.
But like Andrew Vaughn, like he hasn't been like the stud number 4 draft pick that the Sox thought they were getting. Like he's a solid player, but like he's not right now. He hasn't been that impact guy.
Oh,
that's where he comes in. Like it's exactly he's like trying to tread water, given like the horrible situation around him. But like they don't maximize talent.
Look, and then
talent's on this roster. They just don't know how to maximize.
And the biggest one, Luis Robert, who was your MVP.
I don't know what
he just looks clueless, and Eloy the same thing.
Well, Eloy turned it around in the Tampa series. You could tell.
Yeah, he did start.
Something finally clicked with Eloy in the Tampa series, and I know the Toronto series wasn't a masterpiece for him, but his at bats look way more solid now, in my opinion. Where Luis, I don't know what the fuck is going on with this guy. Like, first of all,
I know you guys are gonna hate this comp, but like the way he's swinging, he looks like Javier Baez.
No, and that's fine.
He does. That's what I'm saying. He does not look like he gives a shit when he goes up. He's going to take his 3 big hacks. There's no approach. And then I'll go sulk on the dugout and pretend he cares for the cameras.
And then,
by the way, Eloy went like 0 for 11 in the Toronto series.
Yeah, it did not go over to Toronto. The Tampa,
he was driving the ball.
Who did get a hit in the?
I know, but he didn't. He didn't.
Hit the Toronto
Jake
series?
Berger.
He didn't look lost. You know what I mean? Like Eloy in those first couple series when he came back from injury, he looked very lost. But he didn't look lost as much in the Toronto. He just, he hit it to where they were. But Luis Robert, first of all, statistically, he is the worst version of himself when he bats leadoff. And they keep rolling him out in the fucking leadoff spot.
That's
now, although what I immediately thought of when I saw that? You remember when Joe Madden tried to make Kyle Schwarber be a leadoff man?
Oh, yeah.
And it completely fucked him up for half a season?
Yeah.
That's what I think is happening right now.
But like even that, though, I mean, it was before. I think Luis Roberts batted leadoff 3 times. Luis Robert just sucks. Luis Robert has like a 240 on base percentage. It doesn't matter that he's batted second or third. He's just sucked.
He has
after the first week.
He has 33 strikeouts to 3 walks.
He just sucks.
I don't know. Someone needs to unplug him and plug him back in because he's broken.
Luis Robert literally had 1 good week. It was the first week of the season. After that, he's been terrible.
He's broken.
So this is a good segue to get in the Cubs. Good team.
Cubs just blew a 3-2 lead.
Are the Sox sellers at the deadline? And if so,
yeah. Do you guys want to do some deals? I didn't do it last week.
So Seattle, I'm not dealing with the Cubs, so that's out. Seattle needs a pitcher. Robbie Ray just went down for the season. Lucas Giolito is on the end of his contract.
You're not getting much for him, though.
I know. You're not getting much for anyone.
Yeah, that is true.
There's literally no one on this team except maybe TA that you would get a good return for right now. Maybe TA. Yeah, but I for some weird reason I don't see him dealing Cease because his contract's maybe.
Scott Boras guy too.
Yeah, but
Yeah, is
yeah,
he
You
a
gotta
free
think
agent
they got a
after
team
24?
option though after
bro, Dodgers Twitter already has TA photoshopped in a full uniform.
they have everyone.
But I'm just
Stars
saying,
available. He's coming to the
like
Dodgers.
TA would fit to the Dodgers so perfectly. And now I read this thing because of their hot start, Pirates fans think they're going to be big time buyers.
I did see that
And
too.
I saw
Like the Paul Goldschmidt
I
and
saw Tim Anderson, Paul Goldschmidt, like all the top of the top guys. They all photoshopped them all in Pirates uniforms. Now, one other thing before we kind of switch gears here and talk about a team that's winning, some of the people who are like me and they are consistent apologists, enablers, if you will, to this horseshit team, have been leaning on the crutch of they've had the hardest strength of schedule to start the year. Fine. What happens when the playoffs come? Oh, they did so good, but then they played good teams. That's the playoffs.
Forget about the playoff. Like even the bet. Like yes, when you play harder opponents, you're going to lose more games. But even good teams, like what do you say when you play really good teams consistently? Like all right, let's just get out of this. Let's get through this like tough 10-game stretch. Let's be like 500 at that.
Yep.
The White Sox are 11 games under 500.
Yep.
and have
They're
not looked
not-
competitive
they're not
in the good
close.
majority of them.
They're not close to being a good team. Like
No.
that doesn't matter. If it gets easier, do you know what the easier schedule is going to get them? Maybe to 500. And then what's going to happen?
That's
They're
the
As
gonna
far as
scariest
play
the
thing.
teams again.
schedule goes, I'm sorry. Like the Pirates, as fun as they are, like they're coming back down to earth eventually. I don't think they're any world beaters.
Actually, this is a great. I'm glad you guys brought up like the record and the easy schedule. I have a graph here from on Twitter. Go Cubs 49. Steven, great analytics guy, young dude. Follow him. Good follow on Twitter. He did a graph of teams who have had 16 to 18 losses through the first 25 games of the season. White Sox, they're 7-18. Only 7 of 218 teams that have started the year with 16 to 18 losses in their first 25 games have made the playoffs.
Yeah, and I'm so sick.
7
of
out of
people,
218.
I'm so sick of people being like, "Well, the Washington Nationals just did." Shut the fuck up. That's
The
called catching
average
lightning in a
win
bottle.
total for those 218 teams have been 69.2
Nice.
wins.
Nice.
At least we got that to root for. We can. The rally cry will be after the deadline. Race
But see, Mitch,
69,
this
baby.
is the problem though, is when they do eventually go on their little winning streak when they play like the Royals and the Tigers and all this shit in a row, and they get back together, all this is doing is loosening the pressure on the front office. See, they're a good team. We did our job good. They just needed a month or two to get going.
I don't think it matters though.
I'm
Like,
with you,
things
Mitch. I
are
was going to
least
ask you.
bad already.
I was
Like
gonna ask
what
you
is it
guys.
like?
You guys, or not you guys specifically, like you guys in general, White Sox fans, you guys were saying this last year. Guess what happened? It didn't matter. Like they were just middle. They were still 500 against bad teams. This is the same team.
Well, as far as like the front, like stuff changing, like in the front, it's not. Like even Kenny, when they eventually got rid of him, didn't they just give him a promotion?
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, it's
He
like
went up,
Seinfeld,
yeah.
where they're trying to get rid of
All
that
right.
like one weird guy, and they're like, "Oh, we'll get him. He's messing up the mailroom, and he's all intimidating." So they just promote him upstairs. That's what's going to happen to Rick Hahn. Like, all right, we'll get him on a general manager. He's going to.
Should I play the guy's rant?
Yeah.
Go ahead. It's perfect. He nailed it.
All right, everybody, take a little break. Let me set the scene and make sure I like say it right so we don't get like pinched for something here. So on Wednesday on the Waddle and Sylvie show on ESPN Chicago 1000 AM, this guy called in. His name's Berto from the West Side. If any of you listening to this or watching this know who Berto is, please DM me some information because I'd like to talk to Berto. I want to buy him a beer. I want to Venmo him money for beer because this is probably the most spot on. I personally loathe sports radio callers. I think it's the lowest common denominator when it comes to sports fandom. As you guys know, my cousin Jay has worked at the Score for many, many years. So I've listened to a lot of his shows and I've sat through a lot of these callers. It's 9.5 out of 10 times. It's absolutely brutal. They should trade for Ronald Acuna. No, dude. You know what I mean? So when I saw Herb Lawrence, another man that's been in radio for
Yep.
a very long time tweet out pretty much the same sentiment, that he hates sports radio callers, but this one is amazing. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to present to you Berto from the West Side. And you guys make sure you tell me you can hear it or not.
Can't hear it. Can't hear it.
Wait, you seriously can't hear it?
No.
How do you get it so you can hear it?
You have to. There's going to be an option on your screen that says share audio.
On my screen?
Yeah, like from the StreamYard screen or something.
Um,
Or on your browser, maybe in the corner,
Hold
some
on.
corner.
Mitch is back.
The hell, Berto bumped me from the podcast.
Rich is like, fuck, I'm
yeah,
getting
you
a lot of
didn't hit
people here.
Window. Yeah, I don't see anything where it says share audio. Fuck it. We'll just tweet it out.
Where are StreamYard vets?
And the funny thing is, this is on StreamYard.
Yeah.
But I strongly.
Oh, it was like a 6 minute. It was a perfect rant. It was a great rant.
It's 6
Wait,
minutes.
Can you just play it?
Yeah,
in
just
the
pull it
mic?
up, Mitch. Just pull it up on your phone.
Yeah. All right. I'll
Wait.
just play. I got it.
All right.
I got it right here.
But yeah, we can't hype it up and then be like, we can't.
Like,
like, I hate when people do
All right.
We're the White Sox. Hey, look at all these great prospects. You know what? Never mind.
All right.
They're
Tell
bad.
me if you can hear this.
Berto's gonna. Yeah.
What's up, Berto?
Yep, perfect.
What's going on, guys? Listen, first of all, huge fan, long-time listener, first-time caller. I know regardless of your individual allegiances, I love that you both look at these things objectively and you provide a service to the fans of Chicago. We owe you a debt of gratitude. I've been a diehard Chicago White Sox fan for nearly 40 years. I say that with the very express intent of sharing my deep and undying love for this team. And my call is rooted in heartbreak, not anger. Don't get me wrong, I'm angry, but it is a byproduct of a dysfunctional, abusive relationship with the front office and the ownership of the Chicago White Sox. I also want to say I have defended this rebuild. I liked what the team did with the trades. I defended Yasmani in Dallas. I didn't understand the La Russa hire, but I gave them the benefit of the doubt. I forgave the free agents they let go. I was befuddled by the Benintendi and Clevenger signings, but you know what? I said, I'm going to give them one last shot. And when they canceled Sox Fest, like the cowards they are, I knew something was up. But now we know. Obviously, the experiment is over. The vast majority of the prospects have been busts. The product on the field is pathetic. We have exactly two players of excellence on this roster, Dylan Cease and Tim Anderson. Everyone else is nowhere near the kind of player they need to be to make this a winning team. You'd think that would be enough to wake this organization up. But yesterday, Kenny Williams had the gall to say that he's not in a good place right now and accountability is not an issue. You're right, he's not in a good place. He's not in a job he should have. Think about all the promises that Rick Hahn made, mired in mediocrity. That he brags about Romy Gonzalez in spring training, and I'll trade him if I get the right price. Think about the things Grifol said. Come to the park. We're going to kick everyone's butt. They must have been talking about the fans, not the other teams. The entire lineup is batting under 220. The best hitter on the team is Jake Berger. We're a AAA team. Our right fielders are hitting 180 with a weighted run created plus of 28. I don't even need to tell you about the pitching staff. Katz has got to go. Moncada, TA, Eloy, Yaz, Joe Kelly. It's week 4. They've all already been hurt. Tens of millions of dollars on replacement level players while stars go elsewhere. We're 11 games under 500. The Bears needed 6 months to get 11 games under 500. We needed 3 weeks. In the 15 years of Rick Hahn, we have been a constant experiment that has never panned out. In the 25 years of Kenny Williams, we had exactly 1 season of excellence with a perfect storm of players that has not once come even close to being the same. I don't want to hear about the strength of schedule in April or with the money we've we have playing 500 ball should be underachieving, not 11 games under 500. We keep going after players that Rick Hahn liked 5 years ago. Lance Lynn, over the hill. Yaz, over the hill. Benintendi, he wanted him in the draft 6 years ago. He's got a .1 WAR. Clevenger isn't just a clubhouse cancer and a disgusting human being. He's a horrendous pitcher. Joe Kelly has been useless. We signed Vince Velasquez. Give me a break. John Jay, Yonder Alonso. Between them, that's $200 million on a bunch of black holes and an ERA of 240. The entire organization is poisoned. The entire way that they go about their business is a failure. Firing Rick isn't enough. Firing Kenny isn't enough. If Chris Guest gets promoted and we have to sit through another 15-year retool rebuild, you're just going to hear from me again in 2038. I don't care if we go on a torrid winning streak in May and June and somehow get back to 500 ball, and then we scooch our way into the postseason and the wild card, only to get bounced right away by a team that's actually good. We have no depth in our organization. One injury and we are done. This process isn't working. Our farm system has been in the bottom 10 for 45 years, aside from the one frame of time when they traded all our talent away and graduated them all right up, and then we were the worst again. There is one solution. In his final years, Jerry Reinsdorf, who, by the way, wouldn't even have the reputation he had if he hadn't have lucked upon Michael Jordan at 3 in 1984, has the courage to get rid of the yes men around him and fire everyone. He bought into the Chicago Bulls and the White Sox for $20 million. He's worth $2 billion now. He needs to use a fraction of that money he made on the backs of Chicago's blue-collar baseball fans and pay for a front office to come and rebuild everything. Rick Hahn and Kenny Williams cannot be trusted to rebuild this team again. They need to retire and go off into the sunset and play golf with the millions of dollars they made on their cushy paychecks for a job that they had a longer leash for than any executive in the history of the modern era of baseball. Let someone qualified come in and run this team. At this point, we would need a historic turnaround to even be mildly relevant. Everyone said the AL Central was weak, and it might be in comparison to others, but the Sox aren't better than the Guardians or the Twins. We're not even better than the Royals. And the fact that we're only incrementally better than the Tigers is exactly the kind of indictment on this organization that we need. The build of and the lack of success that this roster has is a referendum on what we've already seen in 2006, 2007, 2011, 2013, 2015, and 16, and the excruciating last 7 years that only led to this. I mean, Stoney is more worried about Lance Lynn eating a salad than the entire organization not knowing how to teach Major League prospects how to hit a baseball.
All right, Berno. Berno, you get an A+ purely on presentation.
I want to drink all the beers with Berto.
Oh yeah.
I want to drink all the beers. I don't think you heard me correctly. I think you're thinking, so wants to have a couple beers with this guy. I want to drink all the beers.
So Lance
All
Lynn
beers.
just got demoted on.
He did. He actually did. No, you know what? I'll go Berto 1A, Lance Lynn 1B.
That's a good call.
But Berto, easy. 30 out of 30 in the 30 rack system. I don't think any. That was perfect.
That was it.
That was flawless victory. That was perfect.
Fatality.
Yeah, I got no notes. It was great. And the best thing is, again, the audio is from ESPN 1000, the Waddle and Sylvie show. That it was on a major network.
Yeah.
The White Sox network too.
The White Sox network.
That's right. Yeah.
They're gonna hear that.
I mean, they saw the sign because they tried to sue.
That's
Yeah.
right.
They try to sue the sell the team signs because they said the S in the word sell was copywritten because it's the White Sox logo. They have eyeballs. They have a brain. They know what's going on here. But Berto nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. If anybody knows Berto, again, put me in touch with him. Love to have him on the show.
At least it gets easier, guys. You got the Rays for 4.
Oh yeah, no problem.
But it's
But it's
at home.
but it's at
Everyone
home.
knows we play good at home.
They do have 3 losses on the road. That's right.
Yeah, they definitely play really good at home. Yeah, it doesn't get any better here. Where do they go? They got the Rays at home for 4,
And
then
the
Minnesota
Twins.
home for 3, and Minnesota's playing good ball. And then you get a little bit of a breather because you go to Mitch's neck to the woods and you play 3 in Cincinnati, 4 in Kansas City. But then again, then you come home right away to 3 against Houston.
Those bastards. Why do they have to play in the middle of the week? Although I don't know if it's worth wasting the money.
No, why would you give
gas
this
to go watch
organization?
that
Why
team
would you
anyway.
give? Oh well, you wouldn't be giving them the money.
Giving Kansas City the money.
It's just so disappointing. But the one good thing is Thursday night's game is Cease versus McClanahan Volume 2.
There you go.
Oh, see? Hey, what up, Herb? Now, this is a guy that knows the ins and outs of the radio business. Herb said they're going to yell at ESPN 1000 management for that. They try to use the strong arm with the score when they were on 670. I don't doubt that at all. I mean, obviously, I have no reason to think Herb is wrong. This is his profession, but someone's going to get an earful for that shit. Because not only did it play live, the link is going around everywhere on Twitter. The YouTube video is going around everywhere on Twitter.
If you are a White Sox fan on the internet, you've heard that clip already.
I'm going to tell you this. This is how you know it's getting widespread. I saw it on Facebook.
Yep.
It's already being shared on Facebook. That's like record timing for Facebook and breaking shit.
Yeah, I mean, you already said it, but like, he's making some good points because like usually like model stuff, like, you listen to these shows.
They're never going to let him go that
long.
long.
Will cut a guy like the caller off that's like long-winded.
Yeah.
But he was hitting everything on the head.
Oh yeah, and like that was your
No,
thing.
he did not miss. He did not miss.
That was on the premier afternoon drive show on your network.
Yes.
On your radio network.
On the biggest show on your network during the biggest time slot. He was the first caller. He was the first caller on that show. Well, and Luke, you said
Berto's upset, but the projectables that we're getting Yohan Moncada back soon, and I think this team
are we?
Are you, Rick?
Are we getting Yohan back? Because I don't know, and it sounds like you sure.
Well, because they don't know how the IL works, and they wait till Eli's back. Time to put Yohan on the IL.
But like you're hearing like, oh, Tim's gonna do his rehab a couple games down in AAA just to get sharp and he'll be back. And then Yohan Moncada, he hit a couple balls today. His back still hurts. We'll get an update tomorrow.
It reminds me the way they handle that of like fantasy baseball when you can only have so many guys on the IL.
Yep.
And like, all right, we can move Yohan to the IL.
It's just, dude.
Idiots.
No one would ever take advantage of that rule.
It is a comedy. It is a comedy of errors right now. And like I said, I'm far past mad. Like I'm way miles away from mad. I am just thoroughly I'm tired. I'm just tired of this. I'm just tired. And 2, I'm just disappointed. I am Berto. Berto is me.
It's sad too in our preseason predictions because like we all knew like deep down like they probably didn't get better, but we're like we bought into it again. Like Berto said, like we drank the Kool-Aid a bit. I was like, I think they're gonna win 88 games and they'll be in the running they'll win the division. Boy, and like none of us are surprised that they suck.
I didn't even know that was right after the White Sox broadcast too of the game.
There you go.
No, that makes sense.
Fucking beautiful, man. I mean, oh boy, it's just bad, man. I'm sorry. I know we're like just beating a dead horse right now. It's just, I guess the only real positive I can think of is hopefully this is rock bottom and there's only one way to go from here.
So let me just ask you guys straight up, like, where are you at with the Sox? Like, what are your expectations for the rest of the Sox season?
They're going to trade for another bad reliever at the deadline to try.
I'd be amazed if they get to 70 wins.
Oh man,
I don't know if I'm going that far. I think they'll get to like they'll win more than 70 games. They're bad. I don't know about 80, but like they'll get.
Second question: how many guys on the MLB roster will get traded?
That's a tough one to answer right now because
follow up. You know what? Follow up. Better question: how many should be traded?
Well, after this month,
like what would you do?
This is the problem though, because now watch them like rip off like 10 in a row or like some fluky ass winning streak, and then they're gonna then we're gonna do this on this show. We're gonna do it. We're like, are they buyers? Are they sellers? I don't know. But
They won't be sellers though, because that would be Rick Hahn acknowledging failure once again.
that is a very fair
which
point.
It's not going to do.
Because right now, the only people that are worth anything in trade value is Tim Anderson and Dylan Cease.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Colson Montgomery.
that's probably he's hurt.
And they can't develop anyone anyway.
Yeah, he's
Any
hurt.
talent he has, they're not going to maximize it.
Andrew Vaughn. You guys already have like
So
Jake
they're
Brigger.
they basically are showing up to the poker table with 2 chips. And
Well,
I
see,
don't
okay,
I don't
so-
trust this
well,
front
so that's
office
the
to be
other
smart
fucked up
enough
part.
to capitalize on those 2 chips.
All right. So like now let's move ahead then to the offseason, right? Let's say they don't make the playoffs, they win 80 games, whatever it is, they don't make the playoffs. Another disappointing season. Giolito, free agent.
He's gone.
Lynn has 1 more year. Or no, I think Lynn has an option. I don't think he's
Yeah.
going to come back next year. I mean, Joe Kelly's money off the books. All right, positive direction.
Hey, what's TA's contract?
TA has 2024 club option, so that's going to get picked up.
Oh, for sure.
And then
we've identified Yolmer Sanchez, the player that we're really high on, and if we think he could be an impactful player here on the
Yeah, and
Yohan
then-
Moncada is going to be making like 20 million. Elo is going to be making like what 15, 16 million. Luis
Andrew
Robert.
Jones come out of retirement. Maybe we'll throw him in
18.
left field as a veteran.
It is, Luke. It is time for a marijuana alert.
So that's the other part where like there is no easy out either.
No,
Because it's the front office. Like you can't trust these guys to do it again.
I'm actually impressed that Jerry Reinsdorf has been able to put both teams that he owns in hell. The Bulls are in NBA hell. The White Sox are now in MLB hell.
It's so funny too, looking at them, how similar both of those team franchises
It's
are.
the
Like I was making the
exact-
joke, because
No.
you watch the
exact
Bulls and
same.
Sox, they added a couple guys like the DeMar Rosen, Zach LaVine. Same with the White Sox, you got your Liam Hendrick, you got your exciting additions, fast start, but both teams couldn't win on the road. Both teams stunk against contending teams and kind of got exposed. And then down the stretch, they sputtered and then got their ass kicked by contenders in the Bucks and the Astros. And what's the common denominator of both? Jerry Reinsdorf. Front offices both stink. They kept Gar Paxson way too long. They're keeping Rick Hahn in way too long. I mean, it's obvious at this point, but.
And it does go back to ownership because all those moves were for the Bulls that you mentioned. Those were made by the new front office, right? It's like, oh well, Garpax are gone. Bulls are going to be better now. Like, no, it's still the same problems. It's still
Exactly, yeah.
It's still the same issues, and that's what's going to happen again. If Rick Hahn gets fired, whatever. If Kenny Williams be like, hey, dude, how about you just take your money and leave? Who they're not going to hire anyone from outside of the organization. Like,
And that's how it's like the top down. Because Billy Donovan, if you look for the Bulls, he's a good coach. If he can fix it. The jury's still out on Pedro Grifol, but I thought it was a good hire. I don't think he's done anything egregious yet, but at some point, he's got nothing to work with. They stink. Oh well.
Yeah.
Let's talk Cubs. I can't believe I'm saying it.
What do you got? What do you guys do for the
Yeah,
Cubs?
actually,
I'm
although please clip Mitch going, let's talk Cubs. Because that will never happen again.
What do you guys got? What do you guys?
I actually can we do 20 minutes on the Diamondbacks? Because, boy, howdy.
All right, that's
Actually-
even better. Better idea. I haven't watched the Diamondbacks game, but fuck it. Let's do it.
I'm very proud of you, Zoe, that you didn't go the easy route and be like, "Oh, I would just be a Brewers fan." I'm very proud of you.
No. I like, so in picking my NL team every year, there's a
I'm
couple
diehard,
things that
don't
go
need
in,
an NL team.
that go into factor here.
You tell
One-
Mitch.
One, they
Okay.
can't be like the super favorite. You know what I mean? Like that's lame.
Or a
If you're
team
just
not
like,
named the White Sox.
no, you can have an NL team, bud.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
What? team?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
You can. I mean,
I watch baseball all day, so I like
I
to
like
have
this
an NL
debate.
team.
I like this debate.
I like to have an NL team.
hey, you fan how you want to fan. I'm just saying, I only need
Yeah.
one team.
Well,
I don't
apparently
like
White
to cheat on
Sox.
my team.
Nope.
But it's abusive relationship.
Like,
I'm loyal.
you're a front running piece of shit.
Yeah,
if
you can't.
Don't
Yeah,
want to see your
apparently,
team.
apparently the White Sox season ticket salespeople have had enough too, and they're starting to talk shit back to fans.
Like,
they
you
told-
root for the Bears. They haven't
Yeah.
been to the Super Bowl since 2006. Well,
Yeah.
This is how toxic the relationship. We're trying to move off the White Sox.
we can't.
We can't.
Why
Keep
can't I
crawling
quit
back.
you?
You know what the sick part is though, and like I'm being extra hard on the Sox just because I don't have any personal connections to any of these players,
Right.
and like I know you guys still do. Like deep down, if they go on a streak, deep down, as bad as it is right now, you guys will say like, wait, but maybe they have turned it around.
Oh, I know I will.
But I just
They'll rip off 5 in a row on them. They back. They're
They're
back. Here we
back,
go.
baby!
They're back, baby. It's a fucking illness, man.
they're just so, and like this. Oh, the thing where like, you know, I think it was Lance Lynch who said it's like, I mean, like, we've been a good team. It's like, have you though? You've been really bad for going back to the
No.
All-Star break 2021. You've been a bad team.
And
That's almost 2 years.
when they lost it, or the last time they won the division, they were the tallest little person.
Yeah,
You
Cleveland.
know what I mean?
80 and 82, second place.
Yeah. I mean, that was sheer luck. But when picking my NL team, because I'm an American, I can do whatever the fuck I want, Mitch. I don't know
I
why.
said you
I don't
can
know
say how
why.
you want
I don't know why you hate America. But
First Lance Land playing for the
yeah.
United States. And then,
they
Let's just root for all the teams, commie.
they can't they can't be the clear favorites. Like, it's not like, you know, the Padres or the Dodgers or like,
you're not, well, you were rooting for the Braves a few years ago.
yeah, but that was before they were.
That's
that was
true,
actually
that's
the World Series. But they got to be like,
Was that like the tomahawk chop? He thought it was cool.
Oh, put on the bags.
No.
Put on the bag and do the tomahawk shot.
I thought Ozuna was a great human when they signed him. He was all aboard.
They got to be a fun team to watch, and I think the Diamondbacks are a fun team to watch because Corbin Carroll's a stud, future MLB superstar. He's tearing up the league right now. I've always liked Ketel Marte. Wanted him on the White Sox a couple times. Christian Walker's good. Alec Thomas went to Mount Carmel, so he's a South Sider. I mean, they have Evan Longoria, bro. Evan Longoria is still in this league.
They got cool uniforms too.
Oh, they got I love their uniform. Evan Longoria is not only still in this league, he's batting .239.
You know, Ian talks about how the Cougars were ripped from his clutches because they had the young D.
Good.
No, well, because they had the young D-backs. You know, but the Cougars now are in the same league as the Chicago Dogs, American Association, independent ball. You know who was playing for the Chicago Dogs when I was working there a couple years ago, my freshman year? Keon Barnum, a former first-round pick from the Chicago White Sox. First base.
Yeah.
Hey,
Was it-
guess what? He didn't pan out. That's why he was in the independent
What,
American Association.
Wait. What league are they in?
The American Association. He led
Indie
the
ball.
American
It's indie
Association
ball.
in home runs that year. I believe it was
Do they Indy
2018.
City Thunderbolts? Is that the same league or no? Different.
What was the
leagues?
team name? I can tell you.
Indy
Right.
City Thunderbolts.
No.
That's it. Oh, they're in the Frontier League.
Yeah. Carlos Zambrano was pitching for the
Dogs.
Dogs their second year of existence because that's the year I was working there. He was there too. Funny story, since we're way off topic now. Carlos Zambrano was pitching and they had us. I was doing like marketing, but like one of the days, we'll go deep into Mitch story time here. The owner was reading a National Geographic. He's pretty rich. Like he was part of the team that brought David Beckham to like America. He owned the Colorado Avalanche for a while. So, you know, rich guy. So he was flying back and forth from Denver, reading a National Geographic. He read an article about ducks that he really liked. So he talked to our promotions boss and was like, Sully, I want ducks as part of our promotion thing. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, I don't care how you do it. I want ducks. So the idea he came up with was, we're going to have a duck race. We're going to get duck costumes as mascots. Then we're going to wrangle a bunch of kids, put them in like near the left field, outfield, like fence, kind of like near the bullpen is. And in the fifth inning, we're going to have the ducks run on the field. We're going to hold the kids and then release them. And they're going to chase after the ducks. And if they tag them, they get candy. Like, what could go wrong with that? So obviously, complete shit show. But long story short, I was wearing one of the duck costumes one of the days. So we had to go in the locker room, which their locker rooms were in the outfield, the way that stadium's designed, if you've ever been to Impact Field in Rosemont. And so like I'm walking in there with like my duck suit and like, who's in there? It's Carlos Zambrano. And I forgot I was wearing the duck suit. And I'm like, oh, like, what's up? Like Carlos. And I'm chatting up. And then as before I'm like about to like leave, he goes like quack, quack. And I'm like, oh shit, I forgot I was wearing this duck costume. I look like an idiot talking to Carlos Zambrano wearing a duck costume.
That is pretty funny, actually.
It reminds me of like the mascots in that one Sports Center commercial, just like
Yeah.
going through their everyday
Exactly.
office life.
Making copies,
Interestingly
faxes,
enough,
but
He
Mr.
said
Met,
his
yes.
hardest, the toughest hitter he ever faced. He had two. Albert Pujols, no surprise. Jim Thome was the other one.
There you go. Jim Thome, next manager. Bring that back. Remember that?
I
when
kind
he
of,
was still around?
I kind of secretly feel like AJ's a little bit campaigning for it. I've been
Catchers would
watching.
make good managers.
I've been watching a lot of AJ's new show.
Dude,
and
there's
everything
no
like that.
chance he'd want to do that.
No. But I do want to point out, remember this offseason how I was mad that the Diamondbacks got Kyle Lewis and I thought he'd be a great pickup for the White Sox?
Yeah.
I'll admit when I'm wrong.
He's bad.
His
Well, he's been
slash
bad
line,
and injured, right?
his slash line is, he's only had 18 at bats, but he's
Yeah.
gotten 167 with a 556 OPS. So
Okay,
This is not
good.
me being a dick. This is a genuine question. How is Adam Frazier doing?
he's on.
That was another one of your
He's
guys.
on Baltimore, right?
Baltimore, right?
Let me
Yeah.
look him up. We're all about
That's
stats.
another one
here.
of another one of those guys.
We're all about stats.
Should we Mitch, you should go back, write a story on Sports Mockery. Be like, how are those guys performing?
Adam Frazier, not great. Not great.
We should do Zoe versus Rick Hahn.
72 at
Oh,
bats.
what a
Zoe's
series that
got-
could be.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah, let's grade our own moves. Yeah,
But I
let's,
will say he's a positive WAR.
okay,
he's
good
a
defense.
.4.
Good defense.
But he's a positive WAR.
How's Brandon Drury doing with the Angels?
Let's check it out.
Gene Segura is my big guy in the offseason. Like, this guy should be the guy they signed.
Hold on. We'll look at my huge embarrassing failures and then we'll go to Gene Segura.
Well, good segue. I know who you really wanted, Zoe. Cody Bellinger, pretty good.
yes. Drury's not great, but not bad either.
What does that mean?
He has 3 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs, 25 strikeouts to 3 walks. Fuck.
Nah, it doesn't seem like it's good, or that seems like a lot of bad.
227, 259, 413, 673 is a positive .1 WAR.
You say 673 OPS?
Yeah.
That's what I call a bad hitter.
It's not. Well, I'm sorry. I'm used to the White Sox, so that would be like the 3rd best hitter on the White Sox.
It's sad, but it's true.
Mhm. And then who do you want? Gene Segura. He's down in Miami.
Otra
Where
noche,
are you? All right, here we go. What's Gene Segura doing these days? Gene Segura,
I'm gonna go out on a limb.
75 at bats, no home runs, 1 RBI, 2 stolen bases. His line is average is 187, 218, 200 slugging, and with a 418 OPS.
Bad.
That is bad.
That's a lot of bad.
I was gonna go out on a limb and say it's better than Elvis, but it's not.
Nope. But as Aldo said, it's a good transition because the other guy that I really wanted the White Sox to get, Cody Bellinger, already has 5 home runs with a 300 batting average, 380 OBP, 550 slugging with an OPS of 930.
God, I mean, Cody Bellinger looks like MVP.
He looks
Cody
good,
Bellinger.
man. He looks good. I don't really sit down and watch full Cubs games, but the highlights and stuff.
Look at what are his strikeouts and walks? That's the big
Um,
number.
Only 13 strikeouts to 9 walks.
Amazing.
Pretty good.
Oh,
I
that's
don't
a
know
good.
about-
That's a good one, Luke. What's Michael Conforto doing these days?
Well, he hit that one bomb against was it Kopech?
Yeah.
Who didn't hit a
I
bomb
was
off
gonna say.
Kopech that
I'm
day?
pretty
I mean,
sure.
come
I'm
on.
pretty sure
now.
I have a home run against Kopech.
That was another one. Pinwheel's curse. You know, I remember tweeting. I'm like, "Hey, Kopech looks pretty good." I said he's a Pittsburgher. Next inning gets lit up. Jock
20,000 home
gone.
runs the very next year.
Conforto, not good either. Conforto has 60 at bats. He has 4 home runs, 9 RBIs, but his slash line is 200, 342, 400, 742, and he's a
4 home
negative-
runs though.
No.
4 home
What
runs.
was
Is,
the OPS?
His OPS is 742.
He gets on base, dude.
That's not
I think
bad.
that's-
He's
I think
getting on
that would
base,
be the
he's hitting
best hitter on
bombs.
the White Sox right now.
He does. He has 12 walks to 24 strikeouts.
yeah, but like he knows what he is,
Like that's
and
it
that's
is.
what today's baseball is. Like he hits bombs.
Mhm.
You're gonna strike out a lot. So I don't even think he's doing that bad. He's playing well.
I think he's right up there with Andrew Vaughn's slash line.
Like Jake Berger strikes out a lot, and we are all saying like, "Hey, he's the only guy hitting for the Sox because he goes up there and swings like he means."
I drastically think people are overvaluing Jake Berger, but that's
We need
neither here nor
something to
there.
latch on to.
Andrew Vaughn's a little better. No, he's not. Hold on.
Hey,
He's-
Gregory
he-
Santos throwing.
Vaughn's
gas.
got a 711
He-
OPS
Also, he's worse.
to his 742. Yeah, I mean he's got a better average, better everything else, but the Conforto gets on base. Which the only other thing about the White, why do they only score in 1 inning?
Because they're not good.
It's just real, but it's really weird that it happens
good,
every
so-
game.
Attention deficit to score.
I just
They
like
get
want to
40
sit you
for-
down, Zoe, and be like, the White Sox are not good.
But why
They're
do they?
not going to be good?
They do it they score in 1 inning and then They don't.
No, they
score young.
stopped. They didn't score the last 2 games.
That's true. That's bad. Who leads the team in OPS? Oh, it's Jake Berger.
Yeah,
Sucker.
905 because he has like 8 extra base hits out of.
Yeah,
like,
Moncada's
10
at 889. Gavin Sheets is at 834.
Dude, when's the last time Moncada played? Like 3 weeks,
Yeah.
like 2 weeks ago. It feels
Moncada's
like.
only had 39 at bats.
Ugh.
The rare Yohan Moncada side.
I mean, he's like Bigfoot right now, dude.
He is.
And did you see how mad people got when one of the beat writers was like, Yohan Moncada played long toss today, and then he signed autographs and then went in the locker room. People were like, oh, he probably got hurt signing the autographs. Like, ugh. I will say, and I said at the beginning of the show, I'm going to say again to reiterate the point because I am doubling down on it. One of the worst parts about all of this is the I told you so people. Absolute worst.
Fair.
Absolute worst part of this. Because those are the type of people that'll throw 100 different takes at the wall, and they're all the most easy route possible. It's so much easier to say this guy's going to be bad than, I think this guy's going to have a great season. And like 1 out of the 100 things that they threw out there will hit, and then they just harp on it. And it's just like, shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's bad to me. That's very annoying. That's one of the biggest. That's
Look
right
how
up.
good Mike Trout's playing. I told you we should have traded for him.
Exactly. Or yeah, it's like I told you Luis Sosa wasn't going to be good. Cool. Way to really go out on a limb, dude. They're almost as bad as maybe it wasn't Tony La Russa's fault, people.
Oh my God.
Holy fuck, go practice falling down. You are a fucking terrible person. What's Mitch Haniger? Mitch Haniger's on the Giants, right?
Yep, another Giant. And the Giants have been bad this year. They've
Except
also
when they
been
play
I
the
mean, you
White
would know
Sox.
when they play the Sox.
Haniger's hurt, Luke. He's only got 2 at bats this year,
Oof.
and he's 0 for 2.
Spent too much time with Yohan Moncada rounding third from one of like the 40 bombs they hit.
Yeah. It's just so bad. But can we talk about Patrick Barry Bonds' wisdom on the north side?
No, it's going to come back to the White Sox. We've tried to pivot.
I know.
Not
We
gonna
keep
happen.
trying.
It's going to be White
but
Sox.
I know.
What's his OPS though? Would he be top on the Sox?
Patrick Wisdom, you'd be right there. Actually, you'd be top, 981.
Oh, by a lot.
Wait, no, we had someone in the 900. Oh, Jake
Jake
Berger.
Berger, 905.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, by a lot. And he's got how many? 9
He has,
home
like,
runs,
9 home runs.
7 walks to 30. He is a
Oh, he's still
very much a 3 outcome player.
He's very
Holy
much
shit.
still that.
He is the definition of a 3 outcome player. 30 strikeouts to 7 walks. Goddamn, boy.
I wanted to ask you guys this. If you guys, so let's say you have a prospect, or he's not even that much of a prospect. He's 25 years old, plays at a position of need where you have a veteran guy that you signed who sucks, who's not good, and then you have a surprising start to the season where maybe you're over exceeding a little bit in April, but there
Don't
is
fall for it, Mitch.
clearly
Don't fall for it, Mitch.
there is
Don't fall
clear.
for
No,
it.
I'm asking you your guys' opinion. How mad would you be if the team and the team's president is like going on every interview and being like, yeah, like we're not really thinking about calling up this guy who can play first base or DH until maybe the summer. And meanwhile, we're going to have a guy who has like a 70 WRC plus, who has a 600 OPS, and we're just going to keep giving him the at-bats.
Yeah.
How mad would you be?
The
I don't know.
Cubs
If you're
got
talking about Trey Mancini, I wouldn't be all that upset.
No. Eric
No.
Hosmer.
no.
Oh, okay.
Eric Hosmer has been absolute cheeks.
Yeah, but what'd you expect? He was cheeks with San Diego.
No.
I know.
Exactly. I didn't want him on the team.
But what Aldo is referring to is
Matt Mervis is a
the
fucking
Cubs have a
beast.
couple stallions in the stable. And I think you've seen enough of Eric Hosmer where it's time to take him up to the back of the barn and let one of these stallions run free.
Eric Hosmer has 66 plate appearances, including Wednesday night. He's 1 for 3, so it's one of his better games.
Mm-hmm.
But he has 66 plate appearances. He has a 71 WRC plus. He has a 613 OPS. The dude just hits the ground ball at I think at a 60% clip. He's not even big. Oh, and everybody was like saying like, "Oh, he has 4 Gold Gloves." The Cubs aren't even playing him at first base half the time.
Yep.
Trey Mancini, he has like more than half the starts at first base.
Mancini hit a bomb tonight, didn't he?
Trey Mancini's been hot since that was the guy who was brutal first 3 weeks or 2.5 weeks. Got a couple off days in Oakland, and ever since he's been.
But
He's been
you're
really
burying the lead here because I know he's not on the show to remind everyone that he predicted he'd get 1 MVP vote. But Nico Horner is playing like a fucking all-star right now.
Nico
man.
Horner is amazing.
Nico Horner, what's his streak now?
21 games on base, at least a walk or a hit in every game except for I think the second
he's
game. Of the season.
rocking a slash line of 347, 390, 480 with an OPS of 870. Little man's already got 2 home runs, 14 RBIs. He's only struck out 7 times and he's been walked 6.
Streets are saying best shortstop in Chicago. I live in the same suburbs, so I don't go to the streets to hear that. But
you can't, as a diehard White Sox fan, you sound stupid if you don't agree with that take. He is the best shortstop in Chicago right now.
Yeah,
and that's
he's
the great
good.
thing.
Shortstop is Elvis Andrus right now.
Because Dansby's not doing bad by any means.
Dansby's cooled off there.
Yeah, he's cooled off, but I mean, and Nico's got 9 stolen bases too.
Just casual.
Sprinkle that in. But Nico Horner's the best shortstop in Chicago. And I'll say it now because Fizz isn't here, because if he was here, it would become a whole big thing. But I'm going to say it now. Nico Horner is the best shortstop in Chicago. We'll see what Tim looks like when he comes back. But this year, at this moment, not career, we're not going to cherry pick stats.
It's getting close though.
In this moment, Nico Horner is the best hitter or best shortstop in Chicago.
Did you say he's basically everything? I mean, I won't say that, but he's. Okay, fuck it. I will say he's basically everything the White Sox thought that Nick Madrigal was going to be, like a contact guy who's going to hit line drives all the time and be a great defensive player. That's what Nico Horner has turned into.
Madrigal's hitting 293 for the Cubs.
No, but like
I know, but I'm just saying that's what Madrigal.
I'm saying the style of contact. Like Nick Madrigal's still getting away with a lot of soft hits. Nico Horner hits like 95 mile per hour hits like all the time. Like he's hitting line drives into the outfield. They're not like little ground balls.
Hold on.
No offense to Nick Madrigal.
Oh no, it's very offensive.
Because Nick Madrigal, after he had a triple, I tweeted out on Friday, his first at bat was a triple, and it got up.
Okay, yeah. Hold on, I got to share my screen because this video continues to make me laugh. And White Sox fans are all going to be like, yeah.
Is it the...
It's awesome. All right. For those that don't know, here's little Nick here. Here's little Nick. Here's his coach right here with
Willie Harris, Sox legend.
Willie Harris, former Sox.
Very ecstatically up right now, telling Nick to stop at third.
He can take
and this is what happened. He could have gave him a high five. And he's out by a mile.
Out by a mile.
Right here. Pause it. He could have literally he could have reached his arm out and stopped him if it was legal.
Willie Harris should have tackled him.
That video is hilarious.
You know why? He learned that bad base running from the south side of town.
Yeah, I blame you guys.
Yep. Are we getting botted here?
Yes. Here we go. Oh, dude. The Twitter bots, they're even more annoying than before. Like before,
they're commenting on sports people stuff now.
Yeah, and they're just like Nick Madrigal hitting 344, and you can hit yourself to a new wardrobe. Click on my profile. It's like, what?
He's serious about the game as I'm serious about finding my new boyfriend. Click here, and it's like, what are you talking about?
Oh my God.
At least the Bears have the draft coming up, so we can watch that happen.
Woo!
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do the Cubs got on deck here? The Cubs got...
Who do they have after? So they have the Marlins. By the way, shout out Saturday. Pinwheels and Ivy, Marlins Cubs, 3 p.m. Central Time. Playback. Live streaming that game.
I don't feel like anybody wants to watch Sox games anymore. So we're going to do a playback with the Cubs. I don't know if I'm going to be able to join them. I don't think Mitch is able to either, but it's going to be Aldo, Fids, and you guys got some guests coming.
Joe
correct?
from Obvious.
You really should, Aldo, plug the guest first. I'll give.
Yeah. You know, that's going to be your main guy, Joe from Obvious Shirts. He was on a week before the opening day.
Big
Great
fan
guest.
of Joe. But yeah, check it out. It's on Playback. You can search your app store for Playback. You can watch it on your phone, or if you're on your computer, it's Playback dot. Oh, shit, I already forgot the email address or the URL.
Is it just like Pinwheels Ivy?
Playback. Yeah, playback.tv/Pinwheels and Ivy.
Bam.
3
p.m. Chicago time.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, by the way, the Cubs also have the ERA leader in the National League, Justin Steele.
Justin Steele. And
Casual.
who pitched today that made Manny Machado look like a fool?
Well, Drew Smiley almost had a perfect game last Friday. Before he was
Then he got
tackled
tackled by the
by
catcher.
Yanko. Drew Smiley. He was a little off on Wednesday night. Cubs, it looks like Cubs are going to lose this one. Speaking of Yan Gomes, another hit for Yan Gomes. Greatest development so far by the Cubs has to do with the St. Louis Cardinals, who suck.
Although I found a tweet for you.
They have one of their worst personal team ERAs since like 2007. Wilson Contreras is their starting catcher. What's the tweet?
Here, this might become your new favorite guy. I know I gotta zoom in.
When Hector Badger was pinch hitting for first base, I mean, yeah, yeah, it might be time to call up Matt Mervis. Exactly.
That to a T is what you're saying. I don't know how that got retweeted into my timeline, but it did. But yeah.
No, that's exactly. I mean, yeah, because it's not only like I get it. So I guess the only other argument that I've seen that I like maybe are like fine is like, all right, the dudes obviously in the clubhouse love Eric Hosmer. So he's a good clubhouse guy. He's a veteran guy. Seeing guys respect him. Fine, you are off to a good start. You don't want to ruin those good vibes, right? Well, I mean, all right, fine. I don't like it, but I'm not in that clubhouse. I mean, he's not doing shit on the field, but okay. There's two other guys that you can just be like, it's no big problem if you get rid of your third catcher in Luis Torrens, who hasn't even started at catcher. He's only been DHing and then pinch hitting. It's not like he's being used as a catcher. Or it's fine. Edwin Rios was a guy they signed late in the offseason who I thought he was going to be a little good, but he's basically a worse version of Patrick Wisdom. I mean, he's like leadoff hitter Kyle Schwarber, and he was just striking out, and that was it. Like he's not even drawing walks or anything. And he's barely getting any playing time. Like, there's no use for some of these guys on the roster. You have a guy he's 25. That's the other part. Like, people keep saying, like, their other argument is like, well, keep him at AAA, like have him develop. He's 25. Like,
yeah,
I'm not talking about a 20-year-old kid who's having a great like month at like single A or something. This dude's been at I put up the number, 75 games. He has an OPS of nearly 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and the other part is he's getting pitched around.
That's wild. Yeah,
he's not even seeing pitches to hit.
Yeah, how do you evaluate a guy that?
And not only that, so because you can't even be like, and like the guy who brought it up didn't bring up the stat, because I think the stat was Matt Mervis is seeing 42% strikes. His point was Matt Mervis is only seeing 42% strikes, and he still has an OPS above 900. He's still walking, 17% of the time, and he's not striking out a lot. Like,
my guess is they're probably going to let him get over 100 at bats.
Yeah,
Hosmer, that is, because like the argument can still be made. It's April, it's early. A lot of guys struggle in April. It's cold in Chicago in April. It's hard to hit. So because he's good in the clubhouse, he'll get a bit of a longer leash. So they're probably going to give him as big of a sample size as they can. It almost reminds me a little bit, not to keep bringing it back to the White Sox, but like with Josh Harrison, when they signed him, like people were ready to project him into the sun too. And they gave him a little bit more time after April, and he started being a sufficient ball player because he was good in the clubhouse. We'll get like, all right, we'll give him a little bit of a longer leash. I feel like it's the same thing with Hosmer, despite the fact they got a good prospect line.
So looking at the standings in baseball, a couple of things are jumping out at me right away. One, the White Sox would be dead last in any other division besides the AL Central. Shout out Royals.
Woo!
Two, Minnesota would not be in first place in any other division besides the AL Central.
And that's what we call a bad division.
Yes. The Minnesota Twins, the leaders in the AL Central, would be tied for fourth place in the AL East.
I might be seeing the worst baseballs. I'm going to my first MLB game because the NASCAR Cup Series is coming to Kansas Motor Speedway next weekend. So I'm going up Friday because I want to see a baseball game. It's the Royals and Oakland A's. So it's not even an MLB game, really. It might be the worst game ever played. So
yeah, Oakland's rocking a 5-19 record with a 208 win percentage. But these standings, I mean, baseball is awesome because I don't think any of us really. You got Tampa Bay, best team in the league at 20-5. First place in the AL East. Second place is the Baltimore Orioles. Third place is the Blue Jays. Then you get the Yankees and Red Sox. Red Sox, not really surprised, but that Yankee team being down that low, that's a surprise.
They started
And
slow. They always start slow.
I know,
though.
but if you look in a glimpse into Yankees Twitter, they're worse than White Sox Twitter. Because they're the most obnoxious fans to begin with. And so now you have the most obnoxious fans with a losing team. I mean, they're 14-11. They're 3 games over 500, but they would actually be tied with Minnesota for first place in the AL Central. I think I just said that in 2 different ways. But then, I mean, the AL Central is what we all thought it would be. In the West, though, Texas Rangers holding it down in first place. They're only a half game over Houston, but the thing that surprises me the most in the AL West is Seattle Mariners are 11-13.
How are all those wild card team, the Angels, doing?
Yeah, how am I?
Angels are 500, baby.
Hey, they're hanging around.
Even Steven.
Hanging around.
But the big thing with the Angels
Well, we
is
saw the
they have
stat.
a positive run differential.
We saw
They're
the
plus
stat.
9.
Though. We saw the. You guys remember that stat? I forget who shared it in the Sox chat. The Angels are only better without, or the Angels are better without Mike Trout. So
Yeah, it's trading the White
once he
Sox.
goes down, maybe they'll get rolling.
And then in the NL, you got the Braves got a 3-game lead over the Mets. The Phillies are really disappointing though, 12-13.
Called it
After spending all that money. And Bryce Harper's going to come back, and he's going to be his first baseman era. They got him playing first base.
Interesting.
And then in the NL Central, you got Pittsburgh Pirates leading that division, 17-8.
Oh, they've been crazy.
Get fucking weird, Pittsburgh.
They've been
fucking weird. I actually love it.
I don't, but yeah,
I know you don't, but the Cubs
it's cute. No,
it's like the Mariners from like 2019, where they started off great for the first 40.
No, didn't the Royals back in, was it 2021? Weren't the Royals like in first place or good in April?
Yeah,
they fell off.
They had a crazy April, and then
so that's what I want for the Pirates.
And then they were reminded that they were the Kansas City Royals. And no, I like the whole thing with Kutch coming back and
McCutchen
and and they're doing this without Cruz because remember he tried to run over Sevi and that didn't really work out for him.
I'm not here to accuse guys on using steroids. But...
Oh, actually, I do want to talk about that in just 1 second.
But Andrew McCutchen hitting like 6 home runs in like 20 games.
And then you go into the AL West, and you got my Diamondbacks in first place.
Yep. The Padres, who the Cubs are playing, they're what, below 500?
The Padres are 12-13. Giants are 10-13. The Dodgers are 13-12, and the Diamondbacks are 14-12. So
that's tight. To me, I think it's a tight division.
Well, and the Diamondbacks are in the lead with a -2 run differential.
Well, that's not good then.
No. And
that was mostly Madison Bumgarner's fault.
Yeah,
they're going to even that out now that he's.
You guys going to sign him or what?
I wouldn't be surprised. The second place Dodgers have a +13 run differential.
I really like his pedigree from
Did you guys see the quote from a anonymous player about Madison Bumgarner? They had to adjust to his stuff as if it was a position player pitching.
Because it was that slow and bad.
Because it was that slow, that non-movement.
That's sad.
I want to.
That guy still has like 2 years left on his.
I want to come full circle back to steroids, though.
Okay.
Does anybody else see the irony in Cubs fans in right field at Wrigley Field chanting?
Let me ask you, Zoe, was Sammy Sosa ever suspended for steroids?
You took steroids to Fernando Tatis Jr. as he stood in the same spot that their worship Sammy Sosa stood in, with more juice going through him than a fucking bottle of.
That video is so funny. He's doing a stupid dance there.
Never failed the test.
Yeah, a lot of guys blow up like that. It's totally normal. It definitely happens. But I just thought that was very funny. Before and after picture of Sammy Sosa.
Well, you're just gonna get the black and white.
Yeah, that's what
I think steroids should be legal, but
I agree. Let them destroy their bodies for our entertainment.
If they want. Oh, here.
We're allowed to do that in Vegas.
This is the best one. Hold on, I'll throw it up during your NASCAR minute.
Oh, one last question before we get to another thing that I could read Cubs to Sox. I don't know how much longer Clevenger's going to last if he keeps sucking ass.
Yeah, the juice is definitely not worth the squeeze on that one.
Were they bringing up this any better, though?
Davis Martin
Your
has a
boy Davis Martin, dude.
Davis
He's
Martin.
already going to be. We'll see if they bring him up.
That's
So
your
question-
boy.
Back on the shelf. I do like
So-
Davis Martin.
So should the Cubs just like I think he's gonna be back in what are we, the 26th, 27th? Maybe like in 2 weeks. Kyle Hendricks is gonna be back. He's lighting up the radar gun, back up to 90 miles per hour.
Woo.
He couldn't break a pane
Roids.
glass.
Speaking
Give
of
me a
roids,
If Hayden was like they have the option Wisniewski, right? Because he's been struggling. Or do they go 6-man rotation? What would you guys
God
do?
damn it.
I'd be like, was nasty. Get back to AAA. Figure your shit
Yeah,
out.
I think I'd throw him down.
Yeah, right now it's been like Wisniewski. Yeah,
With
The Pinwheel's curse
it's literally
Pollock was nasty.
out of all the guys, like I knew Justin Steele was going to be good this year, but like I was leading the hype train for Wisniewski. He hasn't been good. His only good start was against the A's, who again 5-19, terrible team.
They're trying their best.
They are.
They got possums.
they do have possums. I love A's. Dude, you see what the A's fans were doing with
Yeah.
You gotta love that, dude.
It
Very
made
much.
me. It was
So
kind
wait,
of,
real quick. So people that don't know, because we're bad at this, we talk about inside things and we
You're
just
right.
assume everybody
You're
knows. So for people that don't know, so the A's fandom, which the ones that are still there are extremely loyal, took offense to their cheap owner who's about to move the team to Vegas, saying that it's the fans' fault for not showing up and they just can't make money in Oakland. And their counter is, you've literally put the worst team in the league on the field for like the last decade. Like, what? So to spite him, instead of doing what White Sox fans should be doing and not going to games, they're going to sell out the place. And they already got banners and stuff that says like, we're sick of you blaming us. This isn't our fault. Like all this shit. Like, it's pretty dope. I like it. They got a great like inside joke calling the Oakland Coliseum the last great dive bar. Like, they're good people, man. I've interacted. So when the White Sox played Oakland in the first round of the playoffs, was that 2020?
2020.
2020.
I threw a tweet out there just like, hey, is there an A's Twitter? I want someone to talk shit with. And a bunch of them replied like, yeah, what's up, dude? I love talking baseball. And I've still talked to a lot of them today because a lot of them are just really intelligent, fun baseball fans. So
You feel it's sad. I saw a video because like you got to remember like they got like the Raiders too, proud history. Same with the A's. Like it's one of the longest like franchises in baseball.
and they both go to Vegas.
Yeah, and they both leave. So like they got no professional sports team there. They all got to latch on to the Bay Area is like the next closest one. But
Yep.
like there was a video of I think it was back like 2014. This is around when they were like battling the Tigers and like
Belfour?
playoff, like those years. But yeah, there were Belfours coming in and they had
Yep.
the heavy metal going. You could see like the bleachers like going crazy and
Yep,
everyone's
you
going
see the
wild.
crowd,
It made me like really sad like watching it and being like, wow, like this fan base is losing team. Like that sucks.
It does. It really does. I mean, like I said, I've somewhat seen what's going on there by following some of these people on Twitter, and they're really good people, man, and they really love baseball, and it just sucks that this has happened to them.
It's literally major league. They're like, we're gonna put the worst team out there we can, and like the facility stinks. Like they're kicking out broadcasters in favor. Oh yeah, a possum lives there. It's like, well, get the damn possum out of it. Like, yeah, no, we can't do anything about that.
I think a few years ago they had to postpone a game or two because the visiting clubhouse that it was flooding. Like
Yep.
they had a sewer problem. It was shit. They're just shit.
Yep. Oh, I can't wait. Someone on the White Sox is going to see that rant, and it's going to be fantastic. I just keep thinking about that.
Well, doesn't Han
Bruno
talk?
is not the positive influence we're looking for in our clubhouse. He's been banned from guaranteed rate field.
Does Han talk before every homestand
I don't know.
or no?
No,
They canceled Sox Fest. I'm sure he'll cancel his press.
I'm so glad Berto brought that up. I'm so glad.
That was when you like, and honestly, like that is true.
This
I
is
remember
hilarious.
old man convinced me saying the same thing.
Well, this guy here is dead, so we'll cross him off the list. White Sox looking for pitching. All right. You got anything else before we get into the minute?
I mean, Cubs can trade for Ohtani, but we'll get into that in July.
Yeah, we'll cover that.
The Cubs have.
We don't want to shoot our load right away.
Just a general thought. One last general Cubs thought. The Cubs. I've been watching a lot more minor league baseball games this year on through MLB TV. Shout out MLB, but also fuck Rob Manfred for the blackouts. The Cubs system is fucking loaded, guys. That's all I'll say.
It is, and
every fucking day they have a pitcher who's just like 4 no-hit innings, like 5 perfect innings.
Between you, Fids, and our friend Cub Zone, and obvious shirts, I see every farm system highlight possible for the Cubs.
Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yeah, I see all that. White Sox Daily evens it out for me.
Shout out to our guy though. Kevin's guy from Vegas, Tanner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Tanner he had a good start the other day.
What was his lines?
I think he had like
7 scoreless. I think he threw like 7 scoreless.
Yeah. Tanner McDougal. He's been pretty good.
There we go.
Only a couple hits given up.
Let's see what our boy Tanner's doing. This is like the most anti-pinwheels curse guy ever.
Well, he's fucked now, but yeah.
Yes.
100%. We started off great.
So
2 games, 0 ERA, 9 strikeouts in 7 1/3 innings.
With a
call him up for Clevenger.
1.09 whip.
Only 3 hits allowed?
Yeah, he's shoving, dude. He's
throwing in the high 90s. Geez.
Don't take Wick's game today against the Barons with too much weight. Ian, buddy, I wish I knew what you were talking about. But
Jordan Wicks, Cubs. He's the guy that Kevin hates because the White Sox drafted Closer Montgomery, and the Cubs drafted left-handed pitcher Jordan Wicks. But before that, he also pitched 5 innings, only gave up 1 hit in his previous start. So Jordan Wicks, pretty good. Closer Montgomery injured.
Paul Goldschmidt has 2 home runs already tonight. That's good for him.
I'm sure. Don't worry, Cardinals will blow
Birmingham going on down there. Hey, that's a good Barons lineup.
Well, apparently not.
The Sox are making documentaries about it, weren't they?
Yeah.
Project Birmingham.
Project Birmingham. Oh my god.
Oh no.
Oh, it's embarrassing, dude. Where's my paper bag? Project Birmingham. Fuck out of here. I need some cheering up. Let's have some fun. It's time for a NASCAR Minute with NASCAR Mitch.
All righty, this week we are in Talladega, baby. Super speedway action. They're going 190 miles an hour most of the race. So race starts off, they're going 2x2, kind of tame, yo-yoing for the lead, back and forth. Chase Elliott, fresh off the men with a broken leg, he takes stage 1. Stage 2, Chase Elliott once again in front. Lee yo-yoing back and forth. Everyone's staying kind of tame, going 190 miles an hour. You don't want to wreck. On the way into the pit stalls, though, it was kind of funny. Chase Bresco going into pit. Because you're going 190, you got to slow down and get to below 40 miles an hour. Otherwise, you're speeding on pit road. So he's coming in. He didn't slow down soon enough, though. So he turns and spins. And it was really funny because a bunch of the guys in the pit box, like in the first stall, came out and were pulling out their phones, laughing at him, videoing him as he was spinning down pit road. Kind of funny. Anyway, end of stage 2. Big playoff points on the line. Chase Elliott. He won stage 1. He's trying to win stage 2. Eric Almirola, he's way out of the playoff chase. Desperately needs some playoff points. He gets a run. He goes to the high side. Chase Elliott has the chance to block, but he's like, I'm going to take it easy. He lets Eric Almirola win stage 2. Now stage 3. Things starting to heat up here. They've been 2x2 most of the race. Eric Jones says, I'm sick of riding 2x2. Let's go 3 wide. He gets some friends to go with him. They start making a push. Bubba Wallace, his boss, Michael Jordan's there. He has to make an impression. He's like, I'll join you guys. He jumps in front. He leads the train to the front. He's like, follow me to the promised land. He gets to the front, and instead of sticking with his boys, because the second lane, they see this third lane, they're like, we got to check up. Can't go as deep into the turns, so they have to slow up. This third lane's making headway. Bubba gets to the front. He's like, all right, thanks, guys. He leaves like Jose Abreu. He's like, I'm dropping you like it's hot. He jumps down to lane 2. The third lane just falls off, so Bubba back in the lead. Now, also late in this race, Joey Logano, he had a big pit stop. He was under risk of falling a lap down. You fall a lap down in super speedway like Talladega, it's a problem. So as the field comes bearing down on Joey because he was out of the draft because of this bad pit stop, so everyone's running in a pack racing, and it's all about aerodynamics. Joey's in the middle of the field. So what does he do? Courtesy is you go low, you go high. It's like on the highway. You let him pass. Joey's like, Fuck that. I'm Joey Logano. Some say he's good. Some say he's crazy. Some say it was dick move. He just stays in the middle. So the pack has to go around him for the draft, and he just files back in, saves his lap. He stays on the lead lap. Everyone's like, what the fuck, Joey? Joey's like, I don't care. I'm Joey Logano. I don't give a shit what you think. So Joey's back on the lead lap. Now, this is where it starts getting interesting. We got LeBron 5 laps to go. Joey, who is back on the lead lap, he got turned by Corey LaJoy, professional podcaster. Shouldn't be out there racing. I think he's overrated. Whatever. Forces overtime. What does that mean? Green, white, checker, baby. Rookie, Noah Gregson. He's in the front. He's trying to get his first win. Right behind him, Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain's like, I don't want this rookie leaving the field. So Ross Chastain gives him a big shove in the ass, pushes Noah Gregson up the track. Noah's like, hey, I got to get back in line and get in the draft. But Ross Chastain, he don't give a fuck. Ross Chastain don't give a fuck. Tour goes on. He tries to cram it in the hole 3 wide. That's what she said. Ha. But he does. So Gregson can't get back down in, but he's trying to get back in. He gets hit. He spins. The whole field comes apart. Kyle Larson gets caught up in that wreck. Ryan Preece sees a bunch of smoke. He's like, all right, I'm going to gas this thing up, get through that hole. He does, but Kyle Larson's car comes back up the track. He gets tattooed, the roll bar cage, and it breaks. If he got hit on the driver's side, he probably would have died. The collision was violent. You want to see a violent collision? You think football players are tough? Look up Ryan Preece crash. His visor like flips because of the whiplash. Anyway, this causes another overtime because they didn't get to the white flag. So we're at overtime number 2, baby. Ryan Blaney for the Penske, number 12, Ford. He's on the top lane. Kyle Busch, the douche, he's on the bottom lane leading it. Ty Gibbs, he's in the 4th row. Joe Gibbs, or the coach is his grandson. You know, his boy's out there in a good spot to win the race. But Ty Gibbs runs out of gas. The bottom lane's all out of whack. Blaney gets a good shove. He's in the lead. Bubba Wallace, who made that bold 3-wide move, he gets another shove too. So then he takes the lead up top. He takes it to the checkered flag. So now we're on, or the white flag. So we're on the last lap. He's up front, but Blaney gets a run. The bottom lane catches up with him. Bubba Wallace is like, oh, shoot, I got to make a block. So he blocks low. Blaney goes high. He tries to block again. One too many blues. He gets run over. Field wrecks again. They all go spinning. Blaney, who is a Ford and a good chance to win and win some Zoe some money, because I told Zoe to bet on the Fords, looks like he had it, but because of the wreck, caution comes out. They're on the white flag. That ends the race. Who is in the lead? The douche, Kyle Busch. He backdoors his way into a win and takes a Talladega victory. There you go. Your NASCAR minute.
This Padres pitch is shitting bricks right now. Why? Because Danny fucking Burgess is up and back. Guy just ordered Shake Shack straight to the dugout. This
Two funny things that I forgot to mention really quick. It was funny. Michael Jordan, if you want to see another reaction, he's like kind of a curse. Every time he comes to a race, something bad happens with his team. And he was so excited. He had his buddy with him. He was like explaining what like Bubba Wallace was doing. And he's in the lead. He's all excited. And you see Bubba wreck. And like, he's like, like you could tell he was pissed. He like wanted to get out of there. Then Kyle Busch, who won, the douche, he was sponsored by McLaren Grills. After he won, like no one knew what McLaren Grills was. Their website crashed because of how much search traffic they got because Kyle Busch won. So there you go.
I have a confession to make. I don't think I've ever like legit laughed out loud during a NASCAR minute, but when you put in your own "that's what she said" joke into your, I couldn't hold it back, dude. That was that, and every time the official meme of the coronavirus popped up, I was laughing. If you know, you know. I think he's dead though. Somebody said he's dead in real life, but
Oh, is he?
yeah, he didn't get to live long enough to see himself be the meme of Corona. Yeah, I must have been sent that guy's picture in 10 million different forms. Like
Bigger curse, the witch that cursed Clevenger or Jordan.
Oh, Mitch, you got some fans, bud.
Woo!
Mitch
Yeah.
be the Little League World Series commentator.
I can do that easy.
That would be lit. I bet they cancel next year's Sox Fest too, without a doubt. There's no doubt in my mind they do, unless this year ends vastly different than how I think it's going to end.
White
They're
Sox on Charlotte Knights Fest. I know Birmingham. We got
Yeah. Come on down to Birmingham, Alabama for the. Yeah, I can see them. Yep. Yeah, he is not with us anymore, but the meme will live on, and so will the dong. That's very well put, sir. Very well put. Yeah, I could see them being like, "Oh no, we're totally having Sox Fest. It's that," and they're gonna make it like a speakeasy, like the worst location you could possibly have for a
Like 2
festival.
hours long.
It's 2 hours long. The capacity is like 25 people. They're like, this is the only place that was available. And you gotta like
Get
go to
your
the door.
wristbands to see
You
Lenny.
gotta like knock 3 times and say like, Han isn't that bad. That's
It's
the,
just
like, the first level
Griffel's
to get in.
family, Rick Hahn's family, Kenny's
It's
kid.
it's all players' families. And they're like, yeah, we had Sox Fest. Look at how good of a time all these people had. It was awesome.
Tim
Just-
Anderson, side check.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bring them all. Oh, we got rid of the cool Han pitcher. Damn
No,
it.
it's still there,
Where he's
isn't
like-
it? Where he's seducing Andrew Benintendi with 75 million?
No, that's still there. I'm talking about when he was trying to like be cool Han and sit in the bleachers and talk to like the reporters, like, let me rap with you, bro.
Oh, I think, yeah.
Where he looks like
With the hand spreading there too.
Yeah.
he looks like a camp counselor at like a like a
Yeah,
summer
we
camp
said
or
this one.
whatever. And he's like, that one will not go away anytime soon.
It's
That is the
one of
greatest,
the 6 drug stories I had.
but it's just the expression on your
Yeah,
face.
the face. The
It's-
face.
I know it's like
I got to start working these pictures into more of our comments.
well, especially when you pull it up with the caption.
Yeah, the caption is
Possible
what
hemp
makes it.
regulations,
Yeah.
and it's like
Drew, the 108 guys basically do have their own
Yeah.
Sox Fest. They call it 108 Day. It's every year on January 8-ish. It's usually at Reggie's. It's a blast. So make sure you don't miss it. It's one of my favorite events of the year. Baron Fest sounds like a party to me. Moonshine for everybody. Hell yeah.
the
Yeah.
pitching coach down there, according to Davis Martin, was like ripping heaters in the Birmingham bullpen. He like went out there and he like smelled smoke, and it was the pitching coach was smoking a cigarette in the bullpen.
What is his name? Because he's my new favorite coach.
Also, I think I
You
heard
go to,
this.
I gotta pull up the article I wrote about it.
I think
but-
I heard this right. Is Nicky Delmonico the manager at AA?
I thought he's a
No, I
hitting
think he's one of the hitting coaches.
Or
Did he
hitting
come over
coach?
the manager? I'm pretty sure he's a hitting coach.
I think it's a hitting coach, and I'm pretty sure that's a very qualified position for him because he did such a good job of hitting at the major league level.
No, but that's like Barry Bonds is a good hitter and he sucked as a hitting coach. That's you don't want a guy that was good because they can't relate to the fellow scrubs. You need a guy that grinded.
Hasn't Mark McGuire been a hitting coach in the league for like 10 years now or something like that?
No, I
Ooh,
think he
Marvin.
used to be a little bit.
Yeah, Jim Thome was a hitting coach too, wasn't he?
Was he? I don't think so.
I don't know. Ken Griffey Jr. was the hitting coach for Team USA.
That doesn't, oh yeah, yeah.
Look at that
Out how to hit. Wow, he did a great job there.
Taking a team of all-stars and teaching them how to hit. Hitting coach for the Padres.
Oh, he is still? Dang.
Hitting coach in Birmingham. He was in WS last year. Mark Pryor is the Dodgers pitching coach. Yeah, I knew that one.
You guys should hire him.
Oh, that's another big thing.
Ethan Katz, hot
That's
seat?
gaining a lot of steam on the White Sox Twitter
should.
machine. Is Ethan Katz hot seat?
Okay, here we go. Wait, I found the article. I don't know if he's still. Let's see. Richard Dotson, the former White Sox pitcher.
Richard what?
Richard Dotson,
Dodson. Oh, there we go.
1984 All-Star. He was
Good
smoking
guy.
a heater in the bullpen, and he helped turn Davis Martin's career around.
Oh yeah, this guy definitely rips heaters. Hey, you want to see him?
Pull him up. Pull him up.
Former White Sox pitcher.
Present, share screen, window. This guy definitely rips heaters in a
Oh,
bullpen.
yeah. But like Davis Martin he was like in the bullpen with like one of his buddies, and they're like talking. He's like, "Do you smell smoke?" And it was him like leaning on the back wall, just ripping a cigarette.
I'm all about it. This is my guy right here. This dude has more marble miles than anyone on the White Sox batting average. He definitely owns a pool table that has like Marlboro in the felt. Yeah, that's my guy. Big fan of him already. Sigs inside all day. Big Sigs inside fan. But you got to do the Sigs inside when the moment's right. You can't just be sitting here all day just ripping Sigs inside. That's no. But if the vibe is there and you've reached that Sigs inside tier, you're having yourself a little good time.
How do you get to the Sigs inside tier?
If you don't know, man, I can't explain it to you. You'll know it when you get there, Mitch.
Yeah, I am not there.
You will know it when you get there. See,
You're like,
Missy knows what I'm talking
maybe
about.
after the Sox get swept this weekend.
Missy knows what I'm talking about. Usually a good sig inside is at like 4 or 5 in the morning when you've like pushed through your drunkenness, but you can't go to sleep.
See, that happened
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
time. When I was president of a fraternity down at Bradley, we had like a big kitchen where they had like one of those big fans. So all these drunk assholes at like 4, like you said, like 4 or 5 in the morning, they'd be like ripping cig and trying to blow it into like the vent, like fan or whatever there.
Mitch, I'd be lying if I told you I didn't do that ever.
There you go.
Yeah, and
I mean, it's not if one person doing it. You got like 4 of them there. Like the smoke detector goes off. I mean, get the fire department called in a second.
I mean, it's got to be like 4 or 5 in the morning. Sun's like about to come up. You just had like a really good night. You're with some of your good friends. The music is still going. Like it's just everybody's like in that weird state in between. Like I was drunk and I am sober now. Like you're still floating, and then you just rip a cig inside, and then you kill it. Probably eat a taco and go pass out for 12 hours. It's phenomenal.
I'll try it sometime.
I miss that. So bad. Ugh. Anyways, sorry. I just thought of a good cig inside I had once. It was really good.
Stove vent. Okay, that's what it was. A stove. Yeah, it was more stove. I said ceiling fan. It is more stove.
Yeah,
it's a big thing. It was like for an industrial type kitchen, so it was a big one.
I mean, a good cig inside is something you don't forget. Like I'm thinking about a couple good cigs inside I've had over the years. They're solid. I am losing my voice. This is fantastic.
I can hear it.
This is fantastic. I'm definitely ripping a heater right when we go off of here. So
that's what Grifol
day
in the podcasting office.
Yeah, the White Sox. I'm blaming every bad thing I do now is on the White Sox. Honey,
this team just lost 7 in a row.
Did you mean to drink that whole handle of vodka? The fucking White Sox. Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with.
They're not even fun bad either. They're just bad.
No, very not fun bad. Extremely frustrating bad. Like insanely frustrating bad.
It's like Eloy, start jumping into nuts.
Or maybe you just hit the ball. I'll start there.
Oh, see, look, you see that Dotton wearing the Camel Cash NASCAR jacket bullpen.
Yep. Oh yeah, he's a vet.
Yep. All right. Well, Mitch, you got anything else?
No, sorry.
Aldo?
I know I didn't talk much tonight.
You're good.
Go Cubs.
And also playback on Saturday.
3 p.m.
Pitch.
Cubs Marlins.
3 p.m. Central or 3 p.m. stupid time?
Central.
Okay.
Stupid time.
Oh, it's perfect for me. 1 p.m.
Damn West Coast.
Over by 4.
So stupid. I'm just actually mad though because I got a couple potential clients that are in California now, and I got to do calls at like 6 p.m. because they're at 4.
Yeah, no, see,
It was cool when I had a semester in LA, like for opening day for the White Sox. I was like poolside at like 9 a.m. watching a Sox game, which was like actually kind of hype.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you guys, being in West Coast time, or Arizona doesn't change time, but during the summer it's West Coast time. It's great being in. Being outside of it and having
dealing
to deal with
it
that schedule is
the
awful.
worst. Yeah, it's the worst. That's another reason though why I like the Diamondbacks, because when there's nothing on TV late at night, I usually can find the D-backs game.
And they have like
that's right. I'm at D-backs territory.
There you go.
I don't even call them Diamondbacks anymore. We're D-backs now.
Well, they have also, just like how the Sox have sucks. You can, when they go bad, you just call them the D-bags.
There you go. I'm in.
You can flip on them right away.
I'm in. Do you think Chicagoans have an accent when they say the word douchebag?
Douchebag? No, there's no. It's only with the A. So the A's.
Douchebag.
Douchebag.
I definitely say it normally because when I bartended down in Florida, there was this woman that would buy a round of drinks and then she would like tip me extra and she'd be like, say douchebag. I would be like, all right, you're a douchebag. And she'd be like, you say it's so funny. I don't know why. Just remember that story. A lot of cigs inside in that bar.
Yeah, sounds like
Florida did not care about the no cig rule. There was still, they had like the plastic McDonald gold ashtrays still on the tables and shit. Like, yeah, they did not give a shit whatsoever about cigs inside. Definitely was ripping heaters while I was slinging suds. It was a good time. All right.
Damn, I wish I could go to that bar.
It's called Ralph's.
Well, more so when you were bartending.
That would have been.
Daytona race going down to Florida.
That
Ripping
would've
things
been
right at the
good.
rail.
The biggest pickup line in that bar was, "Do you want to see my boat?" That was the biggest pickup line. And I had to tell all these women that were from the north, like Boston, New York, that was a lot of the college people, you don't want to see his boat. Because when you go on a boat, there is
The
nowhere to go.
implications.
There is nowhere to go when you're on a
Like
boat.
It's Always Sunny. The implication.
hmm I stopped many a woman from getting on a boat, but
Good guys out.
that's I'll take credit for that one because that was bad.
Sometimes
That-
good guys.
I used to bartend tractor pulls. Yeah, man.
Oh,
Serious shit. Those were actually a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. Those were the big drink when I would go to when I was working at tractor pulls, I'd always pour a huge Jack Daniels and ginger ale, and just pound that all day. And
okay.
tractor pulls were phenomenal. That was a good time. That was a really good time.
Sounds like damn.
With that plus cigs inside, whew, now we're cooking with oil. Let's go, baby. All right. For Mitch, Aldo, I'm Zoe. If you're still listening, God bless you.
God
We'll
bless.
see you next week.